Neo-Slavic folklore is not that common in games, but is in demand. Remember at least The Witcher and the successful Baba Yaga add-on to Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yes, and the Black Book, based on Russian fairy tales, has won applause not only in Russia. And then there's a great Romanian RPG Yaga, which I told you about some time ago. Blacktail, the debut work of the Poles from the Parasine about how Baba Yaga came to such a life, also turned out as surprisingly decent. According to the authors, Yaga reached this life in the classic way known to many physiologists. A difficult childhood, wooden toys, a cruel environment, the absence of parents. We play as an orphan girl named Yaga, together with her sister Zora. She lived in a village where she was treated suspiciously and called almost a witch. After all, the girl always wore a mask, hiding a strange mark beneath it. She still communicated with her peers and especially helped her Zora. Only thanks to her sister Yaga was tolerated in the village. When her sister, along with other family's teenagers, disappears in the wood, our heroine realized that she no longer belonged to her. She went in search of her sister and is now forced to survive alone, listening only to a strange but a pleasant female voice in her head. On the one hand, Blacktail is really a classic mix of a wilderness, survival and story adventure. We gather resources, fight, complete quests, sweeten battles with bosses, and move on. Basically run around with a bow and collect feather sticks, flowers, crystals and honey to make different kind of arrows, antidotes, potions and more. You can also hunt a game and cook meat on fire. Is that you do not need to make equipment and build houses with fences and workbenches. But you need to learn skills. Some get by the story and others are opened with the found recipes and resources. So learn on the fly to make sticky arrows and brew some potions, as well as faster pull the string. There are also spells with different passive effects. You need to choose which will be active. On the other hand, it really is a fairy tale. There's a water sprite here and a witch doctor here. The water sprite, by the way, doesn't do any damage, but it can slow you down or poison you. The heart here on kitchen legs is where our heroine uses recipes and resources to open learn skills at the cauldron. Here the black cat sits at the altars. On the altars we save, and the cat serves for instant teleportation back to the hut. In battles, Yaga used not only a bow and sorcery, but also a broom. No, not for flying, but setting it in front of her enemies to dispel them. Here you can meet a stone which periodically blocks the way and asks you to do something for him. And you can also talk to the talking mushrooms, who love canning. For example, they dropped one demon and made him schizophrenic. One half of him thinks he's actually a dragon who loves honey. The way we resolve this situation will affect Yaga morality. Whatever it shifts him to the dark or to the light side. There are other moral dilemmas. We may meet the tiny but evil queen of ants who wants to destroy the village and asks us to help her to do it. But by helping the little talking worm who is running the earth of corpus, we do good deeds. Plus a bunch of a little situation. Shooting a beehive for honey is an evil deed. Shooting down an apple for a hedgehog is a good deed. And if you kill him, you are really mad. Moving up the scale to the dark or light side, we get ranks and ranks in kindness or viciousness. And for this open up new options in the dialogue. It also gives bonuses during battles and world exploration. Glorious Yaga collect more resources. Her main spells slow down enemies and damage them. In the Vicious variant, Blood Spheres remain on enemies with a certain probability, restoring Yaga's health. And the main spell steals life from enemies and gives it to the heroine. As you can see, Blacktail has elements of survival, more dilemmas and warmth in Sealanders paired with talking mushrooms. Moreover, when you hear the squealy voice of the tiny queen of ants demanding our help in destroying an entire village, you don't know whether to cry or laugh. All this might make some people feel dissonant. But in fact, the main feature of Slovak folklore is the colorful combination of the serious and the funny humor, mysticism and tragedy. Think of The Witcher, where the drama and simple jokes of Ivasik were combined, or the symptoms of Baba Yaga, who rode in a hart, flew on a broomstick, and at the same time ate children. It's both funny and creepy. The further we wander into the dark figure of the plot, the more of the very tragedy and creepiness, and the more we feel for the heroine. It's no longer time for jokes. The girl is visited by uncomfortable visions and memories. We learn more about what happened to her, about the missing children, and in this vision and memories the game can suddenly turn into a macabre platformer or a puzzle game, allowing us to reconstruct a terrible scene from the past. It is the empathy for the heroine, the desire to know how the story will end and to make Yaga the way you want her to be. That is fascinating. And of course, it's interesting to explore the fairy tale forest. It's not a full-fledged open world with quests and various activities, and it's not very hard to survive in it. Almost all the resources are constantly regenerating, shortages are rare, but the world is still bright, original, beautiful and unpredictable. For a while you wander here with your mouth open, not knowing what else awaits you. Although it is possible to scold the elders, the combat system lacks variety. Some battles with bosses are complex and interesting, but begin to be repetitive. And the game itself lacks polish in technical terms. Bugs happen sometimes. I do not work scripts, I had to download past saves, and in general the optimization could be better. Blacktail was one of the most unexpected, original and atmospheric games, not only from December but from the whole year. Of course, the authors still lack experience and skill, but to the concept of an adventure about a young Baba Yaga, they approach with soul and scope. So, Birth of the Games is an original concept, fascinating storyline that mixed humor, mysticism and tragedy, a bright and well-developed fairy tale world that is fun to explore, familiar system of skills and charms, addictive gameplay, beautiful graphics, all is well with music and voice acting. And cons is not enough variety in battles, surviving system is not done to perfection, and at least there are technical problems. Thank you.